First of all, I just want to say welcome back to the podcast, guys. And today we have a special guest. Welcome.
Hello, I'm ACACIA.
I want to ask you, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty all right. It's been busy, but I can't complain too much.
That's what's up. That's what's up. The weather's looking nice today. It's like,
For real.
everybody was up here. I feel like it's good vibes today. It's very good vibes.
Definitely.
So I want to ask you, how's your experience this semester going so far,
I won't lie, my experience this semester has been a little bit different from past semesters. A little, I don't want to say less cheerful, but
Yeah.
I've been dealing with the big seasonal depression a little bit worse this semester, so my homework has taken a toll.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's going fantastic. I'm enjoying it. My classes are fantastic. Can't complain about my teachers, and slowly but surely everything's coming together.
Okay. So I like to hear. I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like you're alive, you're breathing, and you're awake the next day. It's kind of weird. You ever heard of the whole thing where when your health declines, it's like now everything else doesn't matter? It's like I just want to get better.
For real.
I don't know who said it, but somebody was like, when you're not doing good. Like, okay, sorry. I know the statement I want to say. The statement is, I've heard this. They said a healthy person wants a million things and a sick person only wants one thing, to feel better.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like it's one of those things where, like, if I wake up remembering, oh yeah, that one week I was sick and I hated life being sick, and now I feel great. Let me take advantage of this feeling of being, I can get up off my bed,
There were like 2 weeks back in fall when I got sick. Not sure why it was so bad. I had gone to a bonfire though, so I'm assuming that really screwed up my lungs. And it was just constantly I took for granted how great just everyday health feels.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
I feel like it's so easy to take things for granted, but then when you like see it in perspective, you're like, wait, some people don't have these things. Then it's easier to appreciate these things.
For real.
Question for you. What's like one way for you use to like push yourself to get things done? What's like your,
To-do lists are a big one for me. There's nothing
to-do
more
lists.
satisfying than being able to just cross off an item. Other than that, I won't lie, I rely a lot on my friends and family to
Right.
help keep me in check. Like, I know that they are going to help me put my education first, so I don't feel bad saying like, hey, I can't do this right now.
Right.
I have to do homework, and I know that that's what they want, so that really helps. But
I feel like that's a good motivator. Like the people around you and stuff.
oh, definitely.
I feel like it's
'Cause
hard if everyone's trying to make you go have fun or something and you
for
can't.
sure. And there's always that like fear of missing out of like, oh God, what am I missing right now?
Yeah.
And when the people around you are encouraging you like, hey, this is a responsibility, this is a priority that you
Right.
have, that takes precedent. It makes you feel a lot better about like, hey, I'm doing what I need to do.
Right. And for me, it's almost like I like to stockpile getting things done. Not like, I don't like to, okay, that does sound like I like to procrastinate, but I think when I get something done, it helps me get more things done.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm like, okay, I do this little thing, this thing, and now I've done 5 things today. I can go do 10,
Honestly, that little spark of motivation just gets it all going.
Because sometimes I be struggling with getting stuff done sometimes, and I'll be like, why do I feel like I don't want to get anything done? And then I get something little done, or I go for a run, or I just get my body like going, and then I can start getting more things done.
For sure.
I don't know how that works, but
But it does work, so we should probably just stick
to that. Yeah. Be like, I don't need to understand why it's working. Just stick to it working. Another question I have for you is, what are you like looking forward to in the end of this year? I'm assuming, are you graduating this year or next year?
I am graduating this year.
Nice.
I won't lie, I'm not jumping straight into a 4-year college. That was my initial plan. But after doing school and work and just theater and everything, I realized that I need to take a break before I'm jumping back into school. And so I'm actually taking a gap year in between community college and going on to a 4-year. So what I'm really looking forward to is just being able to relax, enjoy my hobbies, really focus on what I want to do with my future and my, hopefully future career, without having all the homework and all the work stuff that's just constantly feels like it's coming at me. So a good period to reorient. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
I think like the more you mature in life, you realize you need these times of gap. Like you need these times of taking a little step back so you can take 2 steps forward.
It's really important.
It is. I think it is it is fun, the idea of like jumping into something and being not prepared and just learning on your own way. But I feel like when you're done with like high school or 2-year college, 4-year, or done with a big job, you need time to like almost recalibrate your
For
system,
sure.
you know?
Definitely. And no one I've talked to has this, no one I've talked to has the goal that they had set for high school, like
No.
done. Like it just doesn't work like that. People are very fluid. They're not,
Yeah.
your opinions change, and you're not just going to jump into something and necessarily stick with it for the rest of all time.
Of course not. It's like I've like watched videos of myself when I was in high school, and you know what's something I used to swear on? I'm never going to college. And here I am, very deep into college, and I actually really like learning.
For
And I
sure.
really want to keep doing it, you know? And it's crazy because I remember watching a video of myself like a week ago, and it was me being like, college, that's for losers. Like I can't. Those are for the 9 to 5. Like I had such a dumb mindset, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I still take a little bit of what I learned from when I was a kid to now.
Yeah.
Like, it really doesn't matter what you do in life, and as long as you're like happy and you're moving forward,
For sure.
you're gonna find your way. You know. I feel like people compare themselves to each other way too much, especially over social media. Like one of my friends, he said he deleted Snapchat and Instagram off his phone because he was like, I'm dealing with FOMO. I feel like I'm a fear of missing out. I feel like I see all these people getting all this amazing. Like I want to do these things, and now that he deleted everything, he feels like he's like connected with his life
Yeah.
again. You know?
For sure. No, I won't lie. I actually just recently downloaded Instagram, and it was because I have a lot of friends that only use Instagram to communicate, and so I was missing out on that. But I put time limits on it, so I can't spend too
Interesting.
much time. But it's very much one of those things, like you just look at
Yeah.
it, and I can just see how easy it would be to like get into that spiral of, oh God, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
This person's 2 years younger. They're already graduated and everything, and it's awful.
Oh my God, that's such a big thing for me. I used to think when I was a kid, I was like, okay, well, as long as the people that are the same age as me aren't doing better than me, I should be fine. Like, if they do this, I could do this. And then I'm thinking like, it doesn't matter, because somebody could be like 18 and they won the lottery of luck, and they've worked so hard, and they've gotten their own path, and they're winning. It's not my time yet, you know?
Yeah.
Or I'm winning in different ways, because I feel like people really look at success differently. Some people see it as, I have a wife and kids,
Oh,
or
for
husband and
sure.
kids. Now I'm successful. I have a nice job, successful. I'm not in jail or something. Like there's different, like I'm free. Like there's different versions of success for different people. So comparing yourself is never good. Also, I've noticed that people really only show the best version of themselves online. They don't show when they're struggling. They don't show when they're really dealing with something. They only show the best of their lives. You know what I mean?
For real. It's definitely not accurate to reality.
Do you ever like, I do this sometimes. I'll like talk to somebody about something I've seen of them online. Not like a bad thing. I'll be like, oh, I heard you just got back from the trip. How was it? And it looks like on their social media they had the best time ever. And they're like, it was terrible. This happened.
Yeah.
This happened. I'm never going to Mexico again or something, or California, something like that. And I realized it's like, you shouldn't take anything you see online as for face value. Take everything with
Honestly.
like a grain of salt, because people only show what they want to show, you know?
Very much so.
I think this is why I try not to show too much personal stuff. I post a lot of stuff on the internet, but I think it's just for memes, for goofs and gaffs, and it's
Yeah.
funny, or maybe I want to help somebody out with something.
For sure.
But for you, is there something you want to get done before the end of 2024,
Oof. Duh.
or is that too far into the future?
No. It's just more so figuring out which ones take priority.
Right.
It's a very simple goal. It's not really anything to write home about, but I want to actually read 10 books this year.
Wow, okay.
I used to be like very big reader, like finishing a book a day type of stuff.
Whoa.
And then I've been in the middle of a 3-year reading slump, and I read 5 books last year, and so
Okay.
my goal is 10 this year.
Double it up.
Yep.
Very nice.
For real.
You know what's crazy about reading like 10 books? I feel like it's one of those things you could get done in like a month, but it's one of those things where you don't think about it until you like make it a priority.
For real.
Because it could be December 20th in a week, and you will be like, damn, haven't read the books yet. Or some people's goals, it's hard to get anything done without like really putting in the work, or at least
For
trying,
sure.
you know?
Yeah, and I know I struggle a lot with anxiety, which
Yeah.
along with that also comes struggling a lot with motivation.
Right.
So I could have the book right in front of me, and I'll just be staring at it like,
Yeah.
I should read that. I
It's
should
real.
still read that.
Man, it's hard because you don't think about it, but you have to push yourself harder than anyone, because it's like a tough pill to swallow when you grow up. It's like nobody wants you to win like the way you want to win. Like nobody
Yeah.
wants you to get everything done like you need to get it done, you know? Because only you benefit from you growing, really. I mean, sometimes it's more, but
I mean, it can affect the people around you when you grow, but you're the one that you're focusing on when you're trying to when you're trying to better yourself. You should be your main priority to some extent.
Definitely. I feel like you should thinking about how can I benefit myself in different ways and stuff. What do you think is something that like the college students are getting affected by more and more? Like, what's something you think people should like try to work on and stuff? I can start if you want me to.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
I feel like I don't think people get together often enough. I think people after COVID, everyone likes to be alone, which isn't a bad thing. You can get a lot of like self-reflection being alone. Yeah. But I feel like we were made to be around other people. Yeah. Especially during college. Colleges, I heard, is the last time you're going to be around this people who have almost the same type of life as you, like same age, same kind of everything. After that, it could be anybody. And it's fine, like older, younger. But this is the time you're going to have more commonalities with people around you. I feel like you should take advantage and like join clubs and do theater and join, like, you know, do stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. Be sure to talk to people and create lasting relationships.
Oh, 100%.
Try to meet people. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I necessarily have a specific answer that would be able to generalize enough, like what
That's a good point,
college students need to be able to do, because I have to recognize that my experience is different. It's a very in-person. I can't do online classes, and so I have a very different experience than someone who does completely online classes, and I know that's a very large chunk of Ridgewater's. Yeah, I even from last year, I have a lot less people in classes this year because everyone's transferring to more online classes, and I'm not going to say that's better or worse. It works for people's schedules. It's unfortunate because like I said, I like in-person classes, but I can't necessarily look at it and judge someone for doing it, if that makes sense. So I can't really think of one overarching answer to what we should be working on. Yeah. Though I will agree with you, joining clubs, doing more activities at the college, meeting more people, that one is so important.
It can never hurt, you know?
For real.
Especially it's like finding your circle. I didn't realize how blessed I am to found many circles that I fit in. For sure. At the college and in life. And I didn't realize, I think I took it for granted when I didn't realize that everybody doesn't have their clique. They don't have their group. They don't have their friends that they can consider family and stuff like that, you know?
Definitely. I've made some of, I think, obviously too early to tell, but I think I've made some friends that I will genuinely be able to consider lifelong friends. Right. Like, I feel like some of these people I could genuinely go years without talking to, and then that one text and it just feels back to normal, if that makes sense.
Those are the best type of friends.
It really is.
I like to call that low maintenance, because there's some people who, if you don't talk to them for like a year, they'll be like, you never texted me. And I'm like, you have a phone too. Yeah. You never texted me either.
For real.
But I don't ever hold it against anyone.
Yeah, definitely. But just those friends that you can understand, like, hey, life's still happening while we're friends, and I still want to be friends, but sometimes you can't always, and it's really nice to have friendships that can be long lasting and where you can meet mutual similarities.
I think so too. It is very interesting though. Something that I've seen is like people that you went to high school with, they're living such different lives now, or sometimes they're not. It's so interesting. Like, I don't really keep up with too many people that I talk to, like I've seen in high school. Yeah. But the ones that I do are usually like they also live in the same town I live in. The other people are like traveling.
That's legit. Although can't speak too much to it. Homeschooled. My only classmate was my brother.
Oh
so
my goodness. That's a good point. I was gonna ask you about that, by the way. Yeah. You were homeschooled.
I was.
From what grades? Everything? Or?
No, not everything. I started out in the school system, so I got through most of my second grade year, and then my parents decided that they wanted to take my education into their own hands, which there's a lot of different reasons people choose to homeschool. My parents chose to because they don't want to say they didn't trust the school system, because that sounds absolutely awful, but they just really wanted to make sure that I was getting the education they thought I deserved. And so second grade all the way up until my senior year, which I did PSEO here at Ridgewater, so even then I never went to high school.
So interesting. Because I think you did tell me a few times that you were homeschooled. Yep. So that is a good point. So how is your only high school friend doing, your brother?
You know what? He's doing pretty good. He actually is at the Willmar High School now. He didn't choose to take the route I did. He's going there. He's having a great time. He's a very different. So yes,
Yeah.
very different, but
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear.
yeah, for sure.
Do you think being
Mm-hmm.
homeschooled, do you think it made you see things differently now that you're in college and, you know, I'm assuming you're around more people than you were before?
Very much so.
Mhm.
Very much so. On a personal level, yeah, it really did make me look at things differently because I was homeschooled. I was anxious. I didn't talk to a lot of people.
Right.
And the people I did talk to were generally adults and elderly people.
Yeah.
So being able to be around people that are my own age
Yeah.
is, I don't want to say it's shocking to me, but
Yeah.
it just really shows like, oh, we had different upbringings, and
Mhm.
so sometimes I easily get confused by what people are saying because I just don't understand it. So it definitely does change the way that I interact with people, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think I can, I don't want to say cover for it, but I think I can cover for it pretty well.
I was about to say, because when I met you before, I've never thought homeschooled. You know?
I appreciate that a lot
No.
because
Yeah.
I'm trying my best over here.
Yeah, well, you're doing fantastic.
I
'Cause
appreciate that.
I've only met a few people that have been homeschooled, and I think sometimes I can tell,
Oh,
like
definitely.
they're more like sometimes quiet, or they're more like it could be more talkative too. But I usually can sometimes pick it up for you. I that's why I thought this whole time like you also high school, middle school, everything experience, but it's really not that different
Yeah.
when it comes to, because everyone's people, you know.
For sure.
Oh, this is a good question. Would you ever homeschool your kids? Yes and why? No and why? Like your answer.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't plan to have children, so this is a very hypothetical question for me.
Interesting.
But no,
Yeah.
I would probably not choose to homeschool my children. Obviously, there are sometimes circumstances that make
Right.
it the better choice, but if everything's going smoothly, I would probably choose to not, because I saw how that affected my mother firsthand, of that whole idea of it's really stressful having someone's whole entire education inside of your hands, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel responsible to deal with that stress.
I agree with that. That's tough.
It would be a lot, and not to mention you can't always be sure that you are making the right choice when teaching someone, in my opinion, and that just adds to that stress of it. So
That does make sense, because how do you, like, they have to come up with the whole curriculum and come with all these things till you have to learn.
yeah, my mother and
Sounds
her,
tough.
she'd have her whole entire notebook at the beginning of the year of all the curriculum planning, and she did a good job. I consider me and my brother to both be, we're doing well. We're stable in school. It didn't affect our education too much, but you could just see how stressful that was for her. So
Yeah, I think I couldn't. I think that'd be too much pressure for me and my future wife. I don't think I want to put that on us. I do think I definitely want to do research on whatever school they go to.
definitely.
You know? But yeah, it's definitely a lot of things to think about.
For school, for sure.
Yes.
And not to mention, you don't even need to homeschool to be able to give teachable moments to your children.
No.
Like, you can easily take them to museums and go outside, teach them about nature, stuff like that. You can do that without having them homeschooled, which is
Yeah, of
really
course.
nice.
The time they spend at home, what are they doing, you know?
For real.
How do you feel about, you ever heard of, like, the whole term iPad kid? Were you an iPad kid?
Yes,
Like that?
I was not an iPad kid.
I was not. A lot of my nephews and nieces are. but-
Yeah, for sure. I won't lie, I wasn't allowed to have a phone until I was like 15, so definitely not
Yeah,
an iPad
no.
kid. No, I can look at my own cousins. I do lunch buddies at Roosevelt, so I can
Nice.
even see it there. Like, oh Lord, this is very different. This is not how I was raised at all. Some little girl came up to me a couple days ago, and she said something, and she was talking so fast I couldn't understand her. But then she ended her sentence with the word "Riz," and I was just like,
Yep.
"Oh my God."
Last question is, what's something that you believe you try to think about every day? What's one thing, and I'll start. For me, I try to think about, why am I up? Why am I waking up? Why am I going to class? Why am I doing these things? And I just think I want to be happy. I want to be successful. I want to take care of my family, things like this. Basically, what motivates you?
For sure.
Yeah.
Oof.
But
It's
if
a
you don't
big
have an
question.
answer, it's totally fine.
Well, no, I think I do have an answer. I just need a moment to process the
course.
question.
Mhm.
I think what probably motivates me the most is making sure that I'm doing stuff that is bringing me happiness, that I find to be fulfilling, that I know that I can look at and know that I was happy with it, and also the people in my life that I care about
Right.
were, I don't want to say okay with it because that sounds like I'm letting them control me, but that I can say that I made them proud. So
Very, very well said.
thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Of course, thanks for having me.
And I think that's it, guys. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Peace.
See ya.